On this episode, my friend and vlogger Kharique, you may know him as King Daka on YouTube, joins me and we play Imagineer as we design Christmas party for the parks, and he also gives us his real quick review of the newest Disney movie Wish. This is episode 77 of Salute to the Ears. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Salute to the Ears. I'm Jeremy, and with me once again is my friend Kharique, also known as King to Ka, where you can find him on Twitter, X, Instagram. You've been on here before. Thanks for coming back, man.
Of course, I'm very excited to be here, and especially about what we're going to be talking about. It's one of my biggest topics. I love what we're going to be talking about, but yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so when this topic popped in my head, I knew you were the first person I wanted to call, talk to this about, because one, you've done all kinds of different Disney parties in a bunch of different parks, at least the parks here in the U.S.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm hoping to get out there, but yeah, I've done a lot.
Yeah, I think the parks overseas are probably still on both of our bucket lists, but
100%.
It'll get done someday. Yep. So the topic that popped in my head was Jollywood Nights came out, and the first night that it came out, people were just like completely crushing it. Yeah. And my thought on it is, one is kind of like when a new restaurant opens, don't ever do a review on the first night. Like, give them a chance to work out some bugs, figure it out what's working, what's not working. Yeah. And go from there.
And especially this one being the first ever. So I mean, of course, it was bound to kind of have it.
Yeah, like not only it's like the first ever in this park. Like, they've never done a big Christmas party or anything like that, and they tried going different with it a little bit.
Exactly.
But my thought was, okay, if I or we could come up with a Christmas party in any park, where would it be and what would be going on at it? Which, I mean, this can go a bunch of different ways. So, yeah. I decided when we were kind of talking, I was like, I'll let you go first because I can go a couple of different ways with mine. I kind of wrote some stuff down, but I'll let you kind of go first and figure out where you're going to go.
Gotcha. So it's actually funny talking while I just hear you talk now. Initially, I was actually going to say Animal Kingdom and do a Christmas party over there, but because I know that there are restrictions when it comes to Animal Kingdom, they can't stay open late because of the animals and stuff like that. And I mean, you always want live music, live stuff that's happening, and
right.
It's kind of going to be a disturbance, which I still wish something like that would happen, but I digress. I think Epcot would host an amazing, like Christmas around the world type of event. So I already know that they do the morning. They do Christmas.
They do Festival of the Holidays. Yeah,
exactly. So you go around each country and you learn about their Santa Claus and stuff like that. But at night, what I was thinking was more so have just more. I think capitalize off that a little more. So let's say we're in Norway. We have Santa Claus out again and talking and stuff like that. We'll have live music from their countries come out. They'll do something. Mexico will have them come out, live bands, stuff like that, and then we'll have different specialty foods that would premiere from those respective countries. And then obviously we'll have rare characters come out. So with I always go back to Norway because Norway is my favorite country. So let's say if we're focusing on Norway, we'll have obviously the Frozen characters. We'll have Elsa and her gown from Frozen Ever After, which is the Christmas short. And then we'll have who else is pretty rare? We'll have Kristoff and what's his name? The big summer blowout guy. I forget his name, but the guy from Frozen with the sweater. He's super rare.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Oaken, there we go.
Yeah.
So we'll have Oaken meat and stuff like that. So we'll have different characters come out for each country. Like Mexico, you'll have Miguel from Coco, because he's not out in Disney World at all. Or over in Morocco, you'll have,
Mhm.
I don't know, Abu, and even though they're at the Christmas party in Magic
Magic
Kingdom,
Kingdom.
you can
Yep.
still bring them over there and wear, Christmas outfits, stuff like that.
Right.
So I feel like that would be best for Epcot, and then plus Epcot's a little wider, so I feel like it would definitely um, stretch out the crowding, and it wouldn't be too jumbled up or whatever the case may be. So and in America,
Right.
we'll do our American thing and have old English type Christmas music, so like I don't know, oh, Christmas tree. You have live bands and stuff like that. And I really think that would be such a great idea. And I don't know why they don't capitalize um, off that, especially in, like I said, Epcot. People love Epcot. And then you'll
Mhm.
have live bands playing because you have that whole amphitheater and or do a show there. Like they have the show over in Hollywood Studios for Jollywood Nights. We'll
Right.
use that stage and do like I don't know what they want to put there, but they can do some type of Christmas show or Mickey and Minnie's, I don't know, holiday extravaganza, something like that.
Yeah.
And then what else? What else? What else? Also, throughout the night, instead of just buying specialty treats like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, you can go around and try some of the, like they'll have like free, like they'll have like little free treats that are
Right.
from those respective countries that they usually
Oh,
make
that makes
during
sense.
Christmas
Yeah.
time. Yeah, something like that. Or they'll have like actual candy canes from Germany, and they can put those out and stuff like that. And those are for free. You could take with you and go. And so I just think that Epcot would, like I said, be an amazing spot to have a Christmas party. Don't know why Disney hasn't thought of that. So Disney, if you're listening to this, I think this is a good idea. A lot of people love it. People love Epcot, like I said, in general. This is a no-brainer. No-brainer.
Right. It's almost like Festival of the Holidays on steroids.
Exactly. Even more. Like, and everything is just better at night anyway. So
I agree, 100%.
when you just illuminate that and then you push the timestamp from 7 to 1 in the morning, and then they can still do the snope, which is the fake snow in its
Yeah.
respective countries that it actually does snow in. You just have like a dance party in the front near the Epcot ball, the Mission
Hmm.
base, or I forgot what it's called. But yeah,
Right.
like they can do so many things with that, and then have a projection show on the ball, and because they're
That's what I was
using
going to
that.
say.
Yeah, they're using that now for like different movies that come out and stuff like that, and just do like a Christmas special viewing, and then have a holidays. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, there's so much that they can do with at Epcot, and I just know for a fact it would be successful. So sorry, I'm
Right.
ranting. I'm just going
No,
on.
no, no, no. You're good. You're good. I think they could even mix in some overlay stuff with
Yes,
like they took away the Christmas music this year for Guardians, which okay, fine. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna have an event, like I think then you could mix in that Christmas music because there's plenty of Christmas music. I think that's going to match like their beat count that they want.
exactly.
Um, so I think that they could still do that. I think they could even I don't know, like I don't necessarily want to like change up like the pre-show or anything like that, but maybe you could. I mean,
That's
they
true.
do it for they do some holiday stuff for Guardians out in DCA, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So maybe they can do that there.
Exactly. And also like you said, ride overlays. I'm thinking of in Mexico they have over in DCA they have Viva Navidad, where let's say they just change the music at the end scene of the that boat ride
The
where
three
Donald,
caballeros, yeah,
Paquito, yeah,
yeah,
and they can just sing Feliz Navidad. Just
right,
change the audio, and that honestly that would be pretty big, and just change some of the lighting, and people will eat that up. They will love that. So
yeah,
I feel like there's just so much that could be done, and I mean, to be honest, like you said, it's on steroids, so they wouldn't even have to change much. It's more
no,
of just like you're just setting up photo ops. So like I'm talking about operation wise now. You have the people just coming up, setting up the photo ops, or you're setting up the band, the stage for the bands and stuff like that. But I mean, and I don't think it's impossible because you see it in Jollywood nights where they have 4 or 5 musicians playing within the park.
Mm.
So it's not like they can't find somebody to come in, you know, do the music. And also I heard that what is it? The ABC commissary in the Strip and Jollywood nights.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a review that they didn't lean into it was supposed to be like a live Hispanic music with it was supposed to be like more just like that whole strip was supposed to be lively with things of the Hispanic culture, and I heard a lot of people say it just fell flat. It was just a band singing like 2 or 3 cover songs of the same stuff over and over, and it was like nothing. That's all they got, and then the food and ABC commissary. So where you have over by I don't know. Well, there aren't really any Spanish countries at Epcot, but I mean, even so, you can still make right next to the Colombian.
Well, I think the way you make that work is you already have all these food booths set up for festivals and holidays, right?
Mm-hmm.
For all these different countries, like you have other countries with their treats in there. I think if you're going to have a party at night, maybe you offer a little bit different menu from some of those countries, or like each one of those countries offers like maybe 2 different things.
Exactly. I would say do more sweet than savory because in the morning, most of the booths are more savory foods and more, and obviously Christmas is more about a lot of different countries. Sweets are a big priority in the Christmas culture. So they can, like I said, make different desserts and sell those. Or obviously you can like I don't know, Mexicans eat tamales during Christmas. So obviously sell those. I don't know if they even sell them in Mexico right now for festival holidays, but you know, it's just little ideas that you can really tap into and speak to, and I just think it would be an amazing idea. Just saying.
Yeah, and I think it would be a good way to reintroduce because they had cavalcades there for a little bit at Epcot.
Yeah. That's
and
what I
then
meant
to bring those back. Because like when Eric and I went the last time we went during the holidays, she and I went and we were on a bridge. What is that in between like France and the UK? And we were sitting there watching, and Santa's coming over, and he just like interacted and like talked to us the whole time. Like,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a good memory. I think it's a good way to kind of maybe reintroduce like a cavalcade or a parade or something there.
100%. And then I know that they're still trying to get their nighttime shows right. Even so, with this holiday party, it doesn't have to be something big. Just literally add some old time tunes and wish you Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, whatever Christmas songs they play in other countries, and then just throw that together. Doesn't have to be a projection montage, just simple fireworks, and then that's it. Like
you could almost even get away with like a laser show or something like that. Just the music going and like lasers going over the lagoon and the torches going and all that kind of stuff. So
exactly.
I think with it being in Epcot, I think you can get away with like not necessarily having to do like a big nighttime show like you kind of need in some of the other parks.
And I know why they do the nighttime shows is to like crowd control. It's more for crowd control. Like but Epcot is already it's big as it is. So
it is.
And when you limit tickets like they're supposed to do in these art events, you limit tickets already and you space everybody out to do different things. Yeah, that's gonna seem like it's empty in a sense. In a sense, obviously not all things can be empty, but it's gonna seem empty in a sense, and it just makes sense to do it there. Maybe it's too big. Maybe I think Epcot might be too big, or they're just they're already offering most of the Christmas things in the that hard ticket. I mean, their regular admission, whereas they're like, we don't need to put it here because this is already a festival in itself. So,
It could
but
be.
still,
Yeah.
like I said, people
Yeah.
love Epcot, so they take to that really well.
Yeah. And I think more than any other park there, Epcot is as much of a locals park as any of the parks.
Yes, very much so.
Just
Very much
just
so.
like how Disneyland and DCA is very local driven.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so than Disney World. Like
Yeah,
I think Epcot is like driven by locals as much as any park.
agreed. 100% agree. Another thing I would definitely tap into is like I spoke on in the beginning, but everybody knows, like I said, I'm a character person, so I would, you know what I would do also? I would have Mickey and Minnie in different countries uh, dress up in like their respective native outfits that they wear for Christmas, or for Hanukkah, or for Kwanzaa, or for whatever
Yeah.
is celebrated. Like I know China has their own traditions, and you know it would be cool to see Mickey and Minnie dressed up in that. And then you have Mulan and Shang and Mushu, and then over in Germany you have Geppetto,
Yeah.
Jiminy Cricket, which I actually saw that they brought him out for Jollywood Nights. Which can we talk about that real quick? How they tried.
Yeah.
Jollywood Nights. It came, if you guys don't know, Jollywood Nights premiered last week, and then they had their second night, which was yesterday, and they brought out. But they changed things up a little bit. So
We did. They
um,
added a little. Yeah.
they added, and it was more just so they added characters to kind of spread out the crowd, and he just added very rare characters like Jiminy Cricket, Pinocchio. Duffy, who was an international character,
Right.
which is a bear, if you don't know who that is.
Yeah, which was at one point, I remember being younger, and he was at Epcot.
Regularly.
Like, yeah. Yeah, they were really trying to push Duffy hard here in the whole story of Duffy being Mickey's teddy bear.
That's who he is. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But he is huge. Duffy and all of Duffy's friends are huge in Tokyo.
Super. Like I didn't, and to be completely honest, I like before you said it, didn't know who Duffy was. I just thought it was just a bear, and I didn't really take to it. But people love that bear, and I'm just like, I don't get the hype. I never really got the hype.
Yeah.
I mean, he's cute, adorable, but without a backstory, you're just a bear. You're like a Build-A-Bear.
Right.
Like you're just cute Build-A-Bear to me. So I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is. But like I said, so I just have to touch on that real quick. So going back to my Epcot party, I would just bring out the super rare characters. Like there's even some that aren't what was it? Not Jollywood Nights. Merriest Nights in 2021 at Disneyland. They brought out Scrooge McDuck and Marley from Goofy Marley from, what do you call it? A Christmas Carol.
Oh, and, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like, I think that would have to be like one of my biggest, most rare characters like I've ever met. And I was like, this is so cool. And I think they would do really well because, Christmas Carol is set in what? I think the UK? Or is it America? UK or America? One of those.
No, it's UK. I think it's UK. Yeah.
So if it's set in the UK, bring them out in the UK. Like, especially already that pavilion, like UK and Canada, they rarely have characters over there anyway. So I would definitely, I'd capitalize on bringing out the rare characters. Canada, you could bring out Brother Bear, the bears from Brother Bear. It's just so much they can do in terms of character-wise because there's so many.
Yeah.
Like I said, characters on Disney's roster that aren't being used, especially in Florida, for anything. Whereas Disneyland, they can bring out a rare character on any day just because they want to. You know what I mean? And it sucks that they're just sitting there waiting to be seen. So why not use them for a Christmas party?
It is one of the things we noticed about Disneyland and DCA when we were there. I mean, characters there just roam around. Like
exactly.
It's they'll build spots for them at Disney World or Magic Kingdom, and they're like, "All right, stay here."
Mm-hmm.
There they roam around, and they weren't being mobbed. Like
exactly.
which is nice. Like there were times where we saw Goofy just wandering around and like no one's even like bothering him. It's just like him and
Yeah.
his handle, like
Yep.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was in Toontown the other day. Side note, I'm gonna make it quick. When I was in Toontown in the morning, like early in the morning. So this is a pro tip if you're ever going to Disneyland and you want to go to Toontown. Early morning rope drop, you head on over there. I think Mickey was out, and then Pete was out. And Pete is a new rare character that just came out this year. He was just walking around. Nobody else was around.
Right.
I'm just talking to the CMs. It was literally just this like two CMs and Pete and me, and we're literally just standing there, just kind of like talking about who knows what. And then Mickey was alone, so then I'm like, hey, why not go over and just talk to Mickey? So it's like times like that where you couldn't get them completely alone and they're not being mobbed. I mean, mind you, throughout the day it gets worse, but you have moments like that where you're not going to get that in Disney World. So I wish.
Yeah, no, we followed your advice on that one and went straight back to Toontown. Especially if we had like my little nieces and nephews and stuff with me, and that's where we went first. And like they were basically first in line for Minnie and Mickey, and then Goofy's just wandering around and just messing with people, like just goofing off, like
as he should, goofing off in Toontown. That's how it should be.
Yeah, we went back there later on in the afternoon, and it was just slammed back there. So yeah,
I feel like they definitely. I'm going so off topic, but in short story, but I feel like they definitely, while they were remodeling, they should have just made it wider. I think more space would have done well over there. But anyways, back to this. So I feel like I've said a lot in terms of my party. So what are your ideas? What would you think?
All right. So we were almost on the same idea because I was trying really hard to figure out how to get it over in Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Because Animal Kingdom at night is awesome, and you don't get to do that very often.
Exactly.
Like Christmas time is about the only time you can, because that's about the only time that it gets dark soon enough. Because they close it down so early.
That's right.
Which is a shame, because like I'm not the biggest Avatar guy in the world, but Pandora at night is phenomenal.
Yep.
And they don't use it. Like you sunk all this money into this land for nighttime stuff in particular, and you don't use it. But I ran into the same problem of how do we throw a party there and not completely disturb all the animals and keep everybody entertained enough, because there's not a lot of like rides to get everybody onto.
Yeah.
So
I mean but all right, we could do that. But the thing is, you know how Jollywood Nights had kind of everybody towards the front of the park.
Right.
Now, when it came to, there wasn't much, what do you call it? There wasn't much given for Galaxy's Edge. Actually, there wasn't anything given for Galaxy's Edge at all. And Toy Story Land was kind of just there. So a lot of the entertainment was based towards the front of the park. So I'm thinking, I mean, let's say you do throw a Christmas party in Animal Kingdom, you just can't have anything around that safari Africa area, because that would just make the most noise.
Yeah, and I mean, I know they put a lot of their animals back behind gates and stuff at night and do a lot of that stuff, but
animals have supersonic hearing as it is, so it's like any little disturbance is that's the most. But let's say that wasn't a factor. Let's say that wasn't a factor and animals can't hear us. What would you do?
Oh man, and I have to think about this because I went a completely different direction. I was like, I can't figure out Animal Kingdom, so I'm going to go to another park. So I'll get to that here in a second. But let's figure out Animal Kingdom. Let's. What would I do? Boy, I would. There's going to be some kind of a show out there on that lagoon, whether 100%. That's like, what was the name of it? I draw the blank on the show they had before.
River of Light.
There you go. I mean, let's get the water screens going again and start doing stuff there. Start doing stuff to celebrate, whether it's holiday, like how they celebrate the holidays in like Africa and Asia. maybe throw in Lunar New Year stuff because it'll be coming up before too long as well.
That is true.
Maybe throw in some stuff there for that. I would have, you have enough carts and stuff set up around and little like kiosk food places to where I would have use those as almost like food booths.
Okay.
I would lean into the live entertainment they have around the parks, whether that's bands or dancers or whatever they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
I would figure out a way to do either cavalcades or a parade.
Okay. Same.
But I don't like and really lean into like the animal characters.
Yes. So I mean, when I was going over this in my head, when you first, brought it up to me, I was thinking about doing a dance party and having it themed to Tarzan and Jane. So
Oh yeah.
I would have called it like Tarzan and Jane's Jungle Jam or something like that. And then we'll have that towards the front of the party where obviously you have Tarzan and Jane as the hosts, and it's just one big part. Like that'll be like the main draw to kind of bring people in and have them dancing, mingling and stuff. So you can bring out Turk, Jane Tarzan, and even like some of the rare characters like Kharique, stuff like that. Just have them out dancing, and then Tarzan and his friends, and then bring out Thumper or Jiminy Cricket, stuff like that. Like people that they usually bring out during Earth Day, you can bring them out during Christmas. Put the little, the scarves on them or the Christmas Santa hats. And I think that's always been like my big things. Have Tarzan and Jane like host a party, and what better way to do a Christmas party at Animal Kingdom? So.
In there, no, that makes sense. I think we'd run into the same problem there. Like, I don't know how we'd try to incorporate stuff back in Pandora.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Well, I mean, but you see the way that I guess it depends on the Imagineers and whoever sets up the Christmas parties. Because if we get, I think you have to go through James Cameron in terms of like what you can add in terms of entertainment, because you never want to stray away from the person's story. So who knows if there's a holiday already made up, something like Christmas over there, and then you'll, I don't know, capitalize off that.
I think you can do that, because I think over in Galaxy's Edge they've been celebrating, was it Life Day or something along those? Yeah. So I think you can maybe lean into something like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think it would be pretty cool just to see, like, I don't know. I mean, what could you do?
It's a beautiful park during the day with all the Christmas stuff. Like, I always say how their Christmas tree is actually my favorite Christmas tree.
Really? Oh, the one in the front?
Like their big Christmas tree, because it's so original. It's so different than everybody else's. Like, I love that tree. And like, I've seen a lot of, like, we have a lot of trees. So like,
I've heard.
I've seen a lot of trees.
I have yet to go to Animal Kingdom during Christmas time. I think that's the only park I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, so. It's beautiful. Like they do it well, and like, they get the puppets down there.
I gotta see that.
Yeah, those are fantastic. That wasn't my park that I decided to go with though, and I figured for sure you were gonna go West Coast on me.
Oh shoot! You know what? I didn't think that was an option. I didn't know. I didn't know. I figured.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So no, you're good. So I was like, okay. So I was like, well, if he goes West Coast, then I'll go East Coast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So I really went big on Hollywood Studios.
Got you. Okay, so you know what?
Okay.
I'm really curious to see what you would do.
But there's some of this that can also switch over to DCA, because I think DCA and Hollywood studios have a lot in common.
Yes.
Okay, so there's with Jollywood, they have some things that I do like, but I don't think they're standalone. Like they're trying to make them be standalone. Like that can't be the main draw. Like
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Tip Top Club and having live entertainment and having like basically a bar back there and really leaning into like the 20s and 30s and that whole era. Like
Yeah.
I like it. Like, but again, can't be a standalone. Like it can't be a main attraction. Okay. So we're gonna have that, but we're gonna have other stuff too. And they have a show with like Nightmare Before Christmas. Like they brought out that awesome puppet from Mickey's Not So Scary, and they're repurposing it, reusing it, and they're using it on stage for a sing along, which actually I've heard everybody really likes. That's like the one thing I've seen like people really like.
Yeah.
So we're definitely gonna keep.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm actually kind of surprised that people like it, like just in general the whole show, because when I first saw it debut, I was kind of like, I expecting something different.
Yeah.
And maybe I have to see it for myself, but from what I've like seen on video, I was kind of like, that's kind of a skip for me. And everybody knows I love Nightmare Before Christmas, so that didn't really appeal to me. It looked just like the stage show, Hocus Pocus stage show, just with,
The thing I worry about Nightmare Before Christmas is that they're pouring so much into it with Halloween and now Christmas that people are going to get really burnt out on it.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
So, but I still have that show there. Okay. And then I'm also going to set up food booths throughout the park. Okay. Very specifically back there where like Disney Junior and the launch bay and the vacant Little Mermaid is. We're going to have almost like a little food court area back there because there's plenty of room right there, right?
Smart.
With different fun things from the holidays. Like we're going to have like a hot cocoa booth, like with all kinds of different hot cocos. We're going to have like a s'mores booth where people can just go get all kinds of different s'mores.
Yeah.
We're going to have just all kinds of different fun holiday treats back there. And in course, live music, right? Whether that's going to be carolers or a DJ or something like that. Probably back there, probably a DJ, I'm thinking. Just keep music going.
Okay.
We're going to bring back live street performers.
Yes, very much so. That would have done so well with Jollywood Nights. But keep going, sorry.
Yeah. So they're going to be dressed in like their 20s and 30s, 40s, that era type costume, and just really kind of leaning into that. And really going down like Sunset Boulevard and Hollywood Boulevard, those areas, like really interacting with people with Snope and everything going on down there. Then we're still going to, I want to put in some overlays, like Rock and Roller Coaster, throw in some Christmas music.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I'm pretty sure Aerosmith
even if you can like
covers.
Yeah. Like I'm sure they've done something. Like maybe this is the point where you start to introduce some other kind of theme into there. Cause I mean, how those dudes are still alive, I don't know. Like at some point they're going to have to figure out something else to put in there.
That's true.
Maybe this is where you start to introduce something like Goofy and Powerline and Max, like, and it's that whole Christmas thing. Yeah.
A lot.
So maybe that's where you introduce this. I'm going to have live carolers throughout the park, whether that's like they're just kind of roaming throughout and going around like Echo Lake, or
that's funny. I like that.
Wherever they're going to be, but they're going to be roaming throughout there. Get back in Galaxy's Edge, we're going to lean into Life Day and really kind of try to push that whole narrative so you can still use that part of the park. Toy Story Land, I'm happy to see this year they at least brought back all the Christmas decorations from back there.
Yeah.
But you're going to have Buzz and Woody and Jesse, and they're going to be in their Christmas outfits doing meet and greets. throw in some rare ones. I mean, if you have Sid being a villain at Oogie Boogie Nights, maybe you break out Andy
Yeah, that's a great idea.
or
That is a
Bonnie.
great idea. More Andy, but
Um,
great idea.
Although Brooklyn and I both agree that Bonnie may be a villain, but that's a different story.
That really is. That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole different one. I'd love to see like this. I know will never happen, but to have like a Christmas overlay for Toy Story Mania would be awesome. But
Yeah.
that would just be way too much. I get that. I understand that.
I mean, but at the end of the day, it's just screens. Like you can just throw
Yeah.
on some snow and a Christmas hat and call it
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah. Some characters saying Christmas lines.
Exactly.
Right. We're gonna have a parade because I mean they were doing cavalcades and parades even before COVID and stuff there. But with this, we're gonna have some rare characters. Okay.
Yep.
Anchoring this, like originally I was saying in my mind, Santa Goofy was gonna be the anchor.
Yeah.
Like on some kind of sleigh or whatever. But
Okay.
I want to see characters like I want to see Roger Rabbit.
Ooh,
like I'd like to see, and if you could get Roger Rabbit in his taxi cab, like that would be awesome. Like I like that they brought out Phineas and Ferb. Like
yeah, that was cool.
my kids grew up with Phineas and Ferb, so until it got like really weird, and then there was no more Phineas and Ferb. Yeah. But like the fact that you brought up like the Christmas Carol, like Goofy and all of them, like that would be awesome too. Like see them in the parade, that would be awesome.
Heck yeah!
But
especially
then I'd have to find something else to anchor that spot. Like you'd also put in some of the like Pixar characters, like Mike and Sully. Throw them in there in that parade. You know, go ahead and throw in the Toy Story guys.
But I feel like
the fact that they at first when I heard that they brought out Jiminy Cricket, I'm like, why did they bring out Jiminy Cricket? Like, how does he tie in? But then I'm sitting here going, he would actually fit into this era, like the era that I'm talking about. Just the way he dresses, and I'm like, okay, if you're gonna lean into Jiminy Cricket, then I want Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy, like in like glitz and glam, you know, like think of going to like old school Christmas party, you know,
exactly.
like that's what I want to see.
Which is what we should have seen with Jollywood Nights, but the fact that they put them in these terrible outfits, which I was not a fan. So I 100% agree with your sentiment of putting them in glammed up, Christmas. I don't know, like put Mickey in a red blazer and black slacks or bow tie. I don't know, something that just looks more like 1920s Christmas party, elegant. I don't know.
Right. Do something to make it rare and makes people want to go. I need to go get that one.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I was trying to think of like other characters to break out there. That'd be like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. But I was really having a hard time because I'm like, I was even going back scrolling through like Disney Christmas movies, and there's just not a lot to choose from.
There isn't. That's why most of the time they put them in. They'll just put different characters in a Santa hat or a Christmas scarf and kind of call it a day because there's really no movies that they're in, which that sucks.
Right, and it's like some of these costumes, like over in Hollywood and Vine for their character meet and greet and the whole dining, like sometimes they get them dressed up over there, and that's the only place that you see them is there.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in there that I was. Yeah, I think. Oh no, can't forget this one. So this was kind of like one of my big, like a nighttime show. Okay. And I don't know if you do this where Fantasmic's at, so you can use the amphitheater, or if you're going to figure out somewhere else to do this. but I want a stinking drone show.
I agree.
Yeah, like the ones that were out at
100% agree.
Paris were fantastic.
Dude,
Fantastic. Like why they can't do that there or at one of these other parks, I don't know.
I don't get why they're not incorporating drone shows here. Like you would think that I don't know. I have no clue, but that would be an amazing. Yeah, where Phantasm would be, I think that would be a better idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then you don't have to worry about like drones coming down on anybody or anything like that. But then the only problem you have to watch out for is then people who didn't pay for the event can sit over there at Boardwalk Resort or one of those that are close to there and be able to basically watch the show.
So then I guess that's when you would have to kind of have another like a different, like not different, but like another type of show going on the stage where they use Phantasmic. So like I don't know, like let's say if they do the Nutcracker there with drones and stuff like that, they'll have the dancers and stuff like that doing that, but then you'll have the drone part of the show. So all people would see is the drones because I compare drones to fireworks where you can also see fireworks anywhere.
Right.
But like you can see the Christmas fireworks go off from, people in Florida can see it from their houses or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's parts of the show that they can't see with the castle or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could. I think maybe having some live performers down there or maybe figuring out a way to have some other projections or something down in there that might work.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's time for a drone show there. Like,
and you would think they would bring it in for the 100th anniversary, but
yeah,
guess that was only.
There's a lot of things I thought. Yeah, and I think you could kind of mix some of this stuff in over at DCA as well.
100%.
Yeah, like a drone show would be awesome there, but at the same time, you have like the World of Color, which is like that show they always come out well. Like,
yeah,
those shows are always really good. Yeah, but I mean, you still have all the rare characters and all that kind of stuff, all the rare meet and greets, and they already have it set up. I mean, to do some kind of like all the food booths and that kind of stuff anyway. Exactly. So it wouldn't be that hard of a switch. And then then of course you can always incorporate Baymax, which would make me happy.
Which I'm actually surprised over in DCA they wouldn't put a little Santa hat on Baymax or something or something. Which, by the way, you still have to go to. I'm gonna need you.
I know. It's on my list. It's on my list.
And then
my list is growing, but it's definitely on there.
And once you see that land, and then the little whatever they did to change it, then I want you to make a Christmas party for DCA for sure, with that in mind. So.
Yeah. No, I need to go out there again. Something came up with DCA, and I was telling Erica the other day, like I didn't realize how much I knew I liked that park, but I didn't realize how much I liked that park until I'd been away for a little bit. I was like, man, I missed that park.
Yeah, same. It's a great park, but unfortunately, you can get most of it done in one day. I think that's the only downfall to it.
Yeah.
It just needs more of an expansion. That's it. Yeah. I do love that park.
Yeah, but I mean, like some of the stuff there though is like Cars Land might very well be like my favorite land, like in all the parks.
That's my number one favorite land ever, and I just like the first movie. The other two were,
yeah, Jackson would fight you. He wants to fight me all the time about number 2.
Oh, that's the worst one.
You're standing on an island by yourself. Like he loves the second one.
Yeah, he is by himself because that is the worst movie Pixar's made. Next to like, you know what I don't like either? Finding Dory, but that's for another time.
Yeah, nope, not a fan of that one either. It was a little bit better for me once I went out to the aquarium in Monterey, which that's kind of based off of.
Okay.
So that made it a little bit better, but yeah, not a fan of that. Not a big fan of Incredibles 2 either.
Really? I actually liked Incredibles 2. It wasn't the best, but definitely didn't compare.
I love the part where Jack's fighting a raccoon. Like that makes me laugh, but every time makes me laugh. But for the most part, I'm like, nah.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
But
All right.
they don't do well with sequels anyway.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We were talking about movies real quick. You got to go see a early screening of Wish. What do you think?
Yes. I mean, for the most part, I absolutely love this movie. I don't want to give a lot away, but it's
Yeah.
very Disney classic. It does touch upon a lot of the old Disney movies, so it's just such a feel good Disney movie. The animation is absolutely beautiful. There was a lot of back and forth about the animation actually on Twitter or TikTok, whether it looked unfinished, and I'm just watching the movie debunks all that.
Okay.
It's I just think it's an instant classic. When you see it, and maybe if you don't like the music right off the bat, like listening to it on its own, when you put the animation to the music, you'll absolutely fall in love with it. Like I said, it's just this is a classic, and I know that this is gonna blow up. This one is gonna blow up. So
Okay. Yeah. I've come to the point, especially like on social media, it doesn't matter what platform, but people are real quick to be negative. Like
yes,
the more negative that they can be on something, go, oh look, Disney failed again. They're gonna do
exactly.
that.
I feel
So
like they're
I
just wanting
stopped.
for it to fail.
Right.
They want it to fail
It's
so bad.
they do, like, and this is my another pet peeve. Like I feel like Disney and Universal, like Universal is not held up nearly to the same standard as Disney.
Mhm.
Like it just that's a whole nother rant of like I'm looking at stuff going up with Epic Universe and in some of their hotels. I'm like, Disney put that hotel, be like, oh look, here's another IKEA hotel. Like
Exactly.
so double standard, but that's a whole nother platform that's I, yeah, I can make probably a whole nother show on that. But
100%.
yeah.
But definitely, I say definitely go check it out for yourselves. Everybody, I
Yeah.
always say movies are very subjective, or is it objective? It's very subjective. Like everybody has their own taste when it comes to movies.
Right.
So some people are gonna love this, some people are gonna hate it. But if you are
Yep.
a Disney fan through and through, this is a big tribute to Disney's 100th anniversary. So that's why you'll see a lot of nods to all the old Disney movies. But
Nice.
it's amazing. It really is amazing.
Nice. Okay. Well, with that, I'm gonna say thanks for being on again. Like I love having you on here.
Of course.
Yeah, you can go out and find him at King Dakar on Twitter and Instagram, and his YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe on there as well. He's gonna have some Christmas content hopefully coming out here before too long.
Yes.
Yeah, it's looking forward to it. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and say go out and find your joy and have a magical week.